under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Jeff Swike,
Here.
Christopher Mellon, absent. Pete Gipp here. William Byers.
Here.
Tim Fortier.
Here.
Have 4 present, 1 absent.
We have minutes from our last meeting in December.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from last meeting.
I'll second it as
We have a
represented.
first and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed then, as recorded. Do we have any communications?
No communications at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you. Okay, then I will call each case by case number and name of petitioner. I would ask that you come forward, state your name and address for public record, at which time you will be given the opportunity to present your case accompanied by any professionals that you may have with you. After that, we will have a staff report pertaining to each case represented this evening. We will then have a question and answer period for the board members. We will then open the floor for comments, not questions, from the audience. If you are desirous of speaking for or against any case, we ask that you please sign in at the registry in the center aisle. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. The board will then render a decision either for or against, ask for a deferral for more information or other reasons which we will state, or the board will make no recommendation to the common council. At this time, would you please silence any communication devices that you have with you? Our first case is old business. That is case Z37V9-1224. Milmer Building. Jericho Morris petitioner, Ed Romick owner, located at 8422 Randolph Street. Variance from developmental standards, approval from section 21-77 subsection 4 in an R1 residential zoning district on 1.568 acres to allow a pole barn.
Go to the microphone.
Hello, my name is Jericho. I am the petitioner on behalf of Ed Romick, our company, Milmar Buildings, at 7657 SR2, LaPorte, Indiana. And we are petitioning on his behalf to construct a pole barn structure.
Okay, may we have a staff report, please?
Petitioner is requesting a variance from development standards from section 21-77A to allow a 40 by 48 pole barn on 1.568 acres in an R1 residential zoning district. The petitioner would like to build a pole barn to store vehicles, boats, and other equipment. The pole barn will meet the building codes and setbacks. Due to the sloping of the property, the proposed pole barn is positioned toward the front of the property instead of the rear of the property. There will be no business ran out of the pole barn, and the pole barn will be used for the storage only. Without the pole barn, the petitioner would have to pay for storage.
Thank you. And I will bring it to the board for questions.
The proposed pole barn, I'm looking at the site plan. Is there additional driveway that's going to be added to get to the pole barn, or how are you going to access the pole barn?
Well, the driveway exists in the front of the property
Okay.
So the only access to the pole barn would be across the ground surface.
Yes, the only thing would be added.
Sir, you need to speak into the microphone.
And state your name, please.
My name's Edward Ramick. What would be needed, is just that, where the driveway is now, it's blacktop, and just a piece of blacktop would be added to get into the pole barn, where the grass it would be right now.
Okay, well, that's not stated on our drawing, that's why we're asking.
Yeah.
So I did speak with Jericho about the fact that we do have an ordinance that says that you can't drive on hard pavement. So they will insert that piece of blacktop that will attach so that they'll drive in, be able to drive on a hard surface.
And what's to the north of the property?
A home.
And I take it there's a home to the south of it. Normally, we get an overview of the properties, surrounding properties, instead of just a plotted survey.
Well, the owner of the house north of us and south of us, and actually the field west of us, it's all one owner, Mike, that owns Hobart Meat Factory. He owns all that property.
And just to add, we built him a pole barn as well this last year.
Is there any utilities that'll be added to the pole
No,
barn
we're just using it for storage.
for storage?
I got a pontoon boat. I want to keep it out of the weather, and along with a pop-up camper and toys I got to enjoy as I get older.
I'd like to have one of these too, but I live in a townhouse, so that's not gonna work. Too big.
Floor, concrete, stone?
We plan on cement, concrete.
The location of the building, is there anything there now? Is there any trees or?
No, sir.
Okay.
It's just grass slope that it would have to be built up just south of where the new building we're planning on would be. South of it is a garage.
I'm assuming that your neighbor to the north with the home has no objections to you building?
No, in fact, he called and I talked to him about it, and in fact, I don't know if he was going to be here tonight. He told me he was going to, but.
Okay.
Not even electric?
I was just gonna say that. You will have to run electric. You're not gonna let the door up every time. So you will have to run electric to the garage so that you'll be able to let the door up.
Well, I wasn't planning on putting electric garage door openers. I mean, just.
You was gonna let it up every time?
No, usually a pole barn has a track door that slides side
Oh.
to side.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
And no lighting?
So the last one.
Like I said, we're
the
just
last
planning on
one that-
storage. That's our main objective, is
Okay.
storage.
Okay, I was gonna say, the last one that he built for the neighbor, he pulled electric, but that's, yeah. All right, that's a lot of work, but go ahead.
All right, any other questions to the board?
Nope.
Seeing none, I'll open it to the audience. Anyone like to speak for or against this petitioner? Anyone like to speak for or against this petitioner? And a third time, anyone like to speak for or against this petitioner? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for a
Motion?
A motion, thank you. No emotion, just a motion.
There's a lot of emotion, yeah.
I'll make a motion for approval of Z37V9 1224. I guess no conditions or nothing. Sheila, right?
No.
Okay, I'll second that. I guess the condition is to add the asphalt, right, Sheila?
Yes, he's gonna do
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so that's part of it.
We have a first and a second. Can we get a vote, please?
Jeff Swike,
Yes.
Christopher Mellon absent, Pete Gibb, yes. William Byers?
Yes?
And Tim Fortier,
Yes. Passed.
4-1-0.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, under new business, we have case number Z1E1-0125. Ahmed, I'm sorry, I'm going to kill the last name, Saglo? Oh, did I come close?
Yeah.
Okay. Petitioner and JST Properties owner located at 5960 Broadway. Special exemption approval from section 21-136 in a C2 Community Commercial Zoning District on .049 acres to allow a mechanic shop.
Good evening, Attorney Adam Swarden, Swarden Law, PC 337 West 806 North, Valparaiso, Indiana, here on behalf of the petitioner. And I do have the petitioner property owner here with me as well. This is the now former location of the USA Muffler and Transmission Complete Care Auto Repair facility on Broadway, which is actually immediately adjacent to my client's existing business, Ride Time Auto, across from the entrance to Andrean High School. This property's been the USA Complete Automotive Repair Center, I think, for the better part of 20 years, maybe even further, from what I could go back and establish. He bought the business, had met with staff, and I know there's been some concerns because I think originally they were proposing that he would like to handle some of the overflow parking issues for Ride Time next door in the back of the property while still running a automotive repair center at this location. He would like to clarify that he is not going to do that because of some of the concerns that have been expressed by staff. And then I think one of the other concerns was the extent of the proposal in his application for the services to be offered. When I reviewed those from his submission and then looked at what USA Automotive has been doing there for the better part of 20 years, about the only thing I could find different is electric vehicle servicing because it's an emerging technology. He's willing to also remove that off the list of uses as, I guess, either a concession or a further condition, if that be, so that he can essentially continue a full-service automotive repair business at that location. This is not going to be a lease business. They're going to own it. They're going to operate it. It's going to be a separate entity. It's likely going to be the entity that's applied for tonight, or if they create a separate entity to operate the business. Just for some context, the site currently has 20 parking spaces between what's in the front of the building, what's on the north side of the building. Those are the formal established parking currently. There's also some additional parking in the rear for larger or oversized vehicles because the building is completely surrounded by pavement. They have 4 garage bays there, and so to kind of equate this to other current full-service automotive repair centers, there's a AAMCO 3-bay that's in a shared parking arrangement off of US 30. I've got some pictures on that if the board would like to see that. That was the closest comparable within the proximity that was a full service like what he's trying to do here. And he's actually got more parking for the servicing of the vehicles. I know there was also some concerns that staff expressed because of the engine and transmission aspect, because the current business has been doing that there, and my client is not in the business of retaining cars or filing mechanics liens and storing cars for years at a time. There is a statutory provision that after 20 days, if the car is inoperable or not properly plated, they can remove it and treat it as an abandoned vehicle through a private tow company. So if there needs to be some further assurances there, we can put a condition on that the statutory mechanism that they can utilize to get the cars off their property in that time frame, they'd be willing to do that as well. With that, I'll entertain any questions. Thank you.
Staff report, please.
The petitioner is requesting a special exception approval from Section 21-136 to allow a mechanic shop to be located at 5960 Broadway in a C2 Community Commercial Zoning District. The location is presently a muffler shop and petitioner wants to operate a full-service auto repair shop, offering comprehensive vehicle repairs. He will offer engine services to include diagnostic repairs, rebuilding and replacement of engine, routine oil and filter changes for all types of vehicles, exhaust and muffler services to include replacements and repairs, electrical repairs including batteries and wire issues, vehicles alignment services, tire repairs including replacement and balancing, heating and cooling system repairs, suspension and stern repairs, general maintenance, including vehicle inspections, tune-up, fluid changes, and preventive care. Petitioner owns the Ride Time used car dealership next to the property. The petitioner will adhere to the parking conditions that were placed prior to this special exception approval request. The mechanic shop parking will be for the customers of the mechanic shop only. There will be no overnight parking in the parking lot or replacing or parking cars from the used car lot. Petitioner is committed to the community and compliance. He will maintain a clean and professional premise. He will ensure proper waste disposal of automotive fluids and parts. Petitioner will avoid any activity that creates excessive noise, pollution, and disruption to the neighboring properties. No painting or body work will be performed. The hours of operation are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday, and closed on Sunday. There will be 5 employees, and this is for this petitioner only, at this location only, and for this use only.
Thank you. I'll bring it to the board for questions.
Well, one question I have is, how long has the original owner been out of there, the U.S. Muffler? Has it been a while?
I don't know, is he here? Is the owner, the gentleman that owns it here?
He's not,
I just know that he wanted to retire, and he actually bought it from, I think, Artie Manuelitis that owned the other muffler shop up
So this has
on
been
30.
fairly recent. It hasn't been empty for very long.
It's not empty. He never stopped working.
Oh,
But
okay.
He's still there now until this process goes forward.
Okay, I got
He
you.
wants to make sure it's sold before he's still there now.
Okay. Is this the only business that you have? Is just this one here in
Well, I have Ride Time on Broadway, and there's another Ride Time on US 30. So both of those are under my management.
Okay. So you're just trying to keep this one separate from the right time adjoining?
I am, yes.
Okay. You had mentioned that, I guess one of the important parts was about abandoned vehicles. So has there been a situation or a problem in the past?
Well, the only reason we're bringing this up is because when I came to when I went to Sheila to, start this process, she was telling me that they had some concerns with other properties and other mechanic shops and other business owners leaving vehicles around. So she just wanted to make sure that wasn't going to reoccur with me.
Could you please state
So-
your name for our
Oh,
record?
yeah. My name is Ahmad Zeglul.
Thank you.
So, Mr. President, it is not just it's mechanic shops in general, when they tend to do, especially when they tend to replace motors and replace engines. Sometimes their cars are left. People put mechanics liens on it, and I have visited many in this area because I got complained about the cars, and this one is waiting on this part, this one is the people haven't came, and this one, and so I brought that to Ahmad's attention because the town is very, looking to not have that. That's the best way I can put it. And so when it gets out of hand, then code enforcement is involved, and it gets to be, that is the reason why I brought it up to him, because it can't be another used car, it can't look like a used car lot next door with a lot of cars parked there, because it's not a used car lot. It's a shop where you go get your car fixed, you get it fixed, and you pick it up and you take it home. And that is what I talked to Ahmad about. And I was only trying to help him, because when we start to send code enforcement out, and when I have to call you and code enforcement have to go out, it's aggravating to the business owner too, because they're trying to run the business, but it's easier if they accept the town's rules on parking and having excessive cars in the parking lot. And so I did have that conversation with him.
Well, if he has 20 parking spaces available and he's tying up even one of them for more than a month, he's losing parking space for other customers, I would assume. The attorney did state that 20 days is the provision at which point the vehicle can be towed. Would that be our responsibility to tow it, or do you hope,
Sure, so it's clarity on that, because I know that was one of the concerns that Sheila expressed, because we don't want to be like taxing the town or police department. The chief can kind of confirm this too, is other than us calling and just being proactive that, hey, we've got this car, we're going to just report it, we're going to have it towed off, so if the customer says, hey, somebody stole my car, they stole my car, there's at least a report. No, it was towed off because it's considered abandoned, just so they're on notice. But that's all privately done. They'll have a private towing company, contractor, and then whatever they do with it, whether they're going to charge additional fees, it's off-site, out of sight, out of mind, and they don't get into this issue that Sheila has dealt with some of these other locations where they just, I guess, keep them, thinking they're going to keep levying storage charges, and maybe when those people come a-calling, they're going to actually pay it. Well, if they're not going to pay for it right away, they're probably not going to ever pay for it. That's been my experience with my other dealer clients in other areas of Northwest Indiana. It doesn't matter if it's in Valpo, Hobart, Merrillville, anywhere in Lake Porter County. It's the same problem everywhere. Some businesses are proactive about it. Others have a different model. They've run a pretty clean operation between the two dealership locations. They don't have junk vehicles sitting out. That's not what they want for the used car business. So when he says he wants to keep it looking, similar, clean, like he's doing with the other businesses, they mean it. So yeah, it hurts their business model, and it takes up space. And obviously, the more space they have to do some of the lesser intensive repairs, and they get folks in and out, they're going to be generating more revenue. So
the parking spots at the mechanic shop will be utilized for cars that are being worked on?
correct.
Not for overflow from the car dealership?
Correct.
So all of them will be licensed outside of a dealer license on those cars?
Correct.
Any other questions from the board?
Not me.
Is this directly across from Andrean High School, you
Yes,
said?
it is.
Okay.
Yes,
so
it is.
there won't be any traffic concerns when they're letting out of high school, Andrean, then?
No, I mean, there's a very large turn lane in the middle that the police utilizes to try to, control that traffic, so, yeah, there won't be any changes on that.
So I'm just wondering if we need a provision in this for no more than 20-day, vehicle cannot be on a property for more than 20 days?
Yes, the Board of Zoning Appeals can put conditions on a petition, yes.
Okay, since, it was brought up, but it's not in writing anywhere?
Right. Yeah, it's basically following the statute for abandoned vehicles. So as long as they meet the statutory requirements, they can get them towed out of there, they're gone.
Okay,
So,
so that's something we'd want to consider on our motion. Any other questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll bring it to the audience. Anyone like to speak for or against this petitioner? Anyone like to speak for or against this petitioner? And one last time, would anyone like to speak for or against this petitioner? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Z1E1-0125 for this purpose, for this use, for this company and ownership only, and to add the condition for the 20-day abandonment of any cars in the parking lot.
I'll second the motion.
We have a first and a second. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Swike,
Yes.
Pete Gip, yes. William Byers,
Yes.
Tim Fortier,
Yes.
Chairman.
Okay, so it's a pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheila will let you know what you need to do next.
It will go before the town council.
Yep.
Yes. I will let you know, Adam
Sure.
and Ahmad.
What's the currently next scheduled meeting?
So you won't be on the next schedule because they meet on the 2nd and 4th. And I don't think we're gonna make the 4th
Okay.
because,
So
I
we'll
did-
the last week then, or
Yeah.
the second meeting.
yeah.
Okay.
Probably be the first town council meeting in February.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's our last case. Can we get a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Second, aye.
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 Adjourned?
Okay, thank you. Get the copy.